So here we have the HyperX Quadcast 2S. Now this mic comes in at about $199. Now we're gonna find out if this actually stands to upping your content game, or if it's just a mic that you would buy if you didn't have any other reason to do so. So far this has different polarizing patterns. As you can tell right here, it's very beautiful. You can customize the lighting, and it has an aluminum, comes with a shock mount and a steel base. You can press tap to mute right here. That's one of the functions, and then you have your gain dial right here. Overall, it's also a USB-C mic. I can't forget to leave that out. And it has a 3.5 millimeter audio jack. This mic is not, it's a very interesting mic to say the least. It picks up audio quite clearly. It picks up on all the little tiny audio bites that I do, the little tiny taps. So with that being said, its noise reduction is a little bit poor. It's not up to par of what I would prefer out of a microphone. It's not the best. You can hear whenever I click on a button right here. If I just tap on it, you can definitely hear that. But the audio does sound natural, and it sounds pretty clear and crisp. So as far as an audio mic goes, that's not terrible. I don't think it's the worst, but it's something that I think could be worked on a little bit. But unfortunately, I don't have a way to test this in a room with soundproofing. And just letting you know offhand that my walls are bare. So I just want to test this in a content creator setting where somebody may not soundproof this and would have the money or means to do so. So that's a little disclosure. The USB connection is pretty simple. It's very quick and easy to just set it up and just plug and play. There is no difficulties whatsoever. So honestly, that's a huge plus on accessibility, because I just open it up. I open it up from the box, if you saw the unboxing video, and I picked it up and it was ready. You're good to go. There's not much work left. Hey, this microphone does work with Windows pretty well, but I believe that it has only capabilities within Microsoft through the Ingenuity, something like that. I can't even say it, but that Ingenuity map app lies within the Microsoft store, so you wouldn't really even be able to get it on Mac OS or Apple or even Linux. I don't think that there's a way around it unless you were to format it in a way where you can have Windows on Linux. I don't believe that this requires any crazy drivers or softwares, but if it does, it's gonna lie within the Ingenuity app. As soon as I got it, I downloaded it and I just had it right away. So it wasn't terrible, but there are polar patterns for this mic. So it's kind of, it is multi-usable. So you can switch it. If you press and hold the dial button, it'll turn from a cardioid mic, bicardioid, bidirectional, and omnidirectional. So you can have different sounds coming from different spots. So if I talk over here, I go over here, it's gonna sound a lot different already, just as you can hear it. The gain control and monitoring though, I feel like I have a little bit of an issue, because with my Audio-Technica 2020, I have a Focusrite Scarlett Solo, and it's a great audio interface, but it's very bare bones, and I feel like that does more for me than this does, right? If I mess with the gain levels there, I'm able to get it to a sweet spot where if I press something on the keyboard, it's not going to come out, and I absolutely love that. And the last thing you would want is that you'd be on a stream or a video and you're typing something and it hears all of it. It's just not ideal whatsoever. And if you were to connect the audio jack into the back, what you can do is you can put like headphones in there, and when you put headphones in there, what can happen with it is that you can use the gain or the audio to switch it to a mode where it controls the earbuds volume for you. It's kind of an all-in-one, but it's just interesting that it's on the microphone itself. I mean, it's not terrible, but it's not something that I would ever use, because I use Bluetooth, as you can tell. I have the Arctis earbuds in, and it's not terrible, But there was something that happened to me the other day with this being a USB-C mic. I had not changed anything at all. And what had happened was that my microphone ended up just going very, very silent in a Discord call. No idea why. I had changed literally nothing whatsoever, and it was already having these weird issues. And it could be because of some connection issue or maybe not enough power. But regardless, I don't like that because it makes it uneasy to know if it's going to stay like that or if it's not. Other than that, there is the mute button, which I talked about a little bit, but if you tap this mute button on the top, anywhere on the surface, it is going to mute your mic. But the thing that I don't like about it is that I feel like if you were to tap it or tap it on the corner, I always want to tap it whenever I do this, but if you tap it on any of the corners, it's going to mute your mic. So if you accidentally bump into it, that's it. That's all the pressure it takes. Now, while it is nice, people would probably be like, oh yeah, sure. I don't want to mistakenly mute my mic most of the time, but at least it's obvious whenever you do. So right here, it's very colorful, it's very shiny, but if I press it, it turns completely off. So it's not terrible, but I don't want to be cutting in and out. Not like I would be bumping into it or anything. You could have some issues with that, but it could be very sensitive. And for that reason, another thing would be that I feel like if I had this mic long enough, right, you could take very good care of it and it probably wouldn't mess up. But I think that would be one of the very first things to mess up, just because I feel like when it comes down to tap buttons, I feel like those ones are usually the first to go when it comes down to technology. I could be wrong, but it just feels like it would be the first thing to break. If not that, then the USB 3, just like the power to it. It's just something that I personally don't care for. Other than that, the LEDs, as you can see, they are very pretty. I customized them within the Ingenuity app, and I was able to create my own color mix. It was very nice to see because it has a little bit of an aesthetic factor. So as you can tell, my room is decently RGB. It has at least the sunset lamp and the dream sign. The thing is that this just kind of adds a little bit more. It's not gonna make it it's not gonna pop up as much as you would like to, but it's not bad. And from what I said before, it does have an aluminum silhouette, so it's very lightweight. It's not really bad to twist, turn. It's very easy to put this onto this mic stand. It wasn't terrible. I did it within 2 seconds. It was just pop off, put back on, done. Not bad at all. Overall, that the ease of setup was one of my favorite things about this, since I just had to pull 2 components up and just immediately set it up. There was no need to rush or anything about that. It was very, very simple. The software is easy, but there's nothing too crazy about it. I think that the longevity of this mic seems like it would be great for a long haul, but mostly for a startup mic. Honestly, if you had the funds, you might as well just go for an audio interface at this price with a not Go XLR, but with an XLR cable to make it a little bit more capable to handling the sound that you want and to have the specific sound quality that you would want. I would have to compare it with the Shure MV7, Audio-Technica, and for the most part, you're not going to be using the polar patterns unless maybe you set it up in a podcast room. And if you plan on doing podcasts in the future, this wouldn't be a terrible mic, but I feel you could find better. And in a podcast setting, I'd rather have a lapel mic and to put it on to 2 different people, and it's going to be a lot better. I tried to put a pop filter on this to see if it would sound any different, but it didn't really make much of a difference when I did it. But I'll put on some audio. You're going to hear me sing. I apologize ahead of time, but then you're going to hear all of the sound. You've been hearing the sound this whole time, but it's going to show you the highs, the lows, where it ends up changing in sound, and I'm going to compare it to the Audio-Technica 2020, and I hope you enjoy it. Maybe, who knows? And here is my AT 2020 mic. We'll see if it's better or worse, right? I have to hold it because this is on the stand right now, and I'm not going to take the whole thing off the stand. Hopefully you don't hear a lot of wind noise. I am the prophet with the answers you seek. time I've unlocked it, I see past and future running free. There is a world where I help you get home, but that's not a world I know. I am the prophet with the answers you seek. Time I've unlocked it, I see past and future running free. There is a world where I help you get home, but that's not a world I know. All right, so we're back, and let's talk about the price to performance. Like I said, $199. It's kind of a hard price. I think that you're overall better off doing something that benefits you with an audio interface. If you want something very, very easy to set up and you want the aesthetics of it, I say go for it. Why not? The audio is not terrible enough. I just wouldn't want the background noise to come up, but there's obvious ways to fix that, especially if you're a content creator. You just put in a wind filter or a noise filter within OBS or whatever software program you're using, and you can avoid it entirely. I personally don't think that you should have to do that, but it is an option. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and let me know what you think. If you had to say or make a comment on my singing, what would you say? I know it's probably not the best, but I appreciate whatever you guys' thoughts are on the mic itself though. And tell me, what is your favorite mic? Do you think that the HyperX Quadcast 2S is worth it or not? But I hope you have a good rest of your day. Have a good night and a good morning.